sleep. And one more time.
And you, sir?
No, thank you. How's Rogers doing?
Listen, the governor stated that the party is showing increasing strength at precinct level. I told him 400 times, you ask a stock question, you're going to get a stock answer, and that's the way he runs an interview.
Take the kid under your wing.
Kid PhDs in political science don't fit under my wing. His head's too big. Let him hang himself.
Jerry, haven't you been coming down on that stuff a little bit heavy lately?
I hadn't noticed.
You hadn't? Oh, come on, Jerry. You were like Rogers when you started. We all were. We knew everything.
Sure. The main thing I knew was I didn't know as much as him, Hutchison.
When do you take it over?
What?
Hutch's column.
After the wake, I guess. Right now, the paper's maintaining a period of hypocritical silence.
Hypocritical? I don't know. Maybe they really liked him.
Sure, they loved him. That's why they kept him up in the state capitol for 20 years, writing political chit-chat.
Say, Ray's comes with a column, doesn't it?
Just the byline.
Well, don't knock that, Chuck.
Who's knocking it? A byline's a byline.
Bixby, the long distance, it's the missus.
Hi, love.
Hello, honey. How's the convention going?
Well, predictably. The governor stuck his neck out for motherhood again. What's with you? You got any important weddings or betrothals I ought to know about?
It's been sluggish. The inbreeding season won't be upon us for another month or two. Jerry, have you heard anything about the column?
Like what?
Well, I mean, did Parker say you definitely had it?
Sure. No, not in so many words, but you know, why?
Well, I heard a rumor around here this morning. I'm praying it isn't true, but I thought maybe you should know.
Well, honey, I'm a big boy now. What's your rumor?
They're talking about giving it to Stan Rogers.
Stan Rogers?
I know, it seems ridiculous.
Now, what do they want with him writing a gossip column?
Well, apparently they're going to change the format. You know, make it more of a political analysis thing. State politics in depth.
Oh, sure, in depth. He's about as deep as a milkshake.
Honey, there may be nothing to it.
No, there's probably plenty to it. It sounds like another one of Parker's scholarly schemes. He's going to raise the tone of that rag. Well, good luck to him. He'll need it.
I'm sorry, sweet.
Oh, it's okay, Jean. I don't care. Fool you on him, huh?
See you Friday?
You bet you will. Bye.
How's the prettiest working wife in the business?
She's full of good news.
No?
They're gonna give the column to Rogers.
You're kidding.
Why aren't you laughing?
No, I don't get it.
Well, it's obvious. Now the loyal subscribers are gonna get a daily think piece with their morning coffee.
You can do that stuff?
Not when they got the boy genius warming up in the bullpen.
He won't go 2 innings. You'll get it yet.
I got a good mind to quit. Finish that novel.
Never jump from a rock to a lily pad. Hey, we better get going. The afternoon session starts in 10 minutes.
I'm gonna skip it.
They may start nominating.
Be the same 10 little Indians. I can make up a list right now.
See you later.
Willie. There's too much glass in this glass.
Insight. Stories of spiritual conflict in the 20th century. Insight.
How do you do? My name is Father Kaiser. The human nature we possess is endowed with infinite dignity and a destiny which includes the friendship of God. Yet this nature of ours is the victim of a frightful contradiction. The evil I don't want to do, St. Paul says, I do. The good that I want to do, I don't do. We are rational animals, yet we often act irrationally. We are free men, yet we suffer from various compulsions. We are spiritual beings, yet on occasion we find ourselves enslaved by physical desire. All of us struggle with this interior contradiction. The alcoholic must struggle with it in a very special way, for he has contracted a disease which seriously compromises his dignity. He experiences a physical need for alcohol. He also experiences a mental compulsion to satisfy that need regardless of the consequences. Sometimes the consequences are dire indeed. Not infrequently, the alcoholic disrupts his family, jeopardizes his job, and destroys his health. He knows these things are the result of his drinking. He regrets them. He feels great remorse, yet he seems unable to stop. This is an important point. Most alcoholics are incapable of helping themselves. Sheer willpower is not enough to solve their problem. Does this mean their case is hopeless? Are they condemned to self-destruction? It doesn't mean that. It does mean the alcoholic must look beyond himself for the solution of his problem.
Hey, Jerry, how about some dinner? Jerry? Hey, Jerry, how long have you been here? Didn't you cover the session this afternoon?
No.
Oh, brother, you mean you didn't file a story?
No, what happened?
The biggest palace revolution in years. Only 2 of the governor's candidates made the slate.
What?
Thompson's people blew them right out of the window.
What's the names of the candidates?
It's too late. It happened 4 hours ago.
What time is it?
About 7.
Maybe Rogers filed something.
Just the governor's reaction. He held a press conference afterward.
For once in my life, I want to be a wrong number. Hello? Yes, operator speaking. Thank you. Parker. Hello, Phil. Yeah, I was just gonna call you about that, Phil. Phil, listen, will you? Phil, before you have your seizure, just listen a second, okay? Look, I got kind of sick this afternoon. Well, I don't know, it was food poisoning, something like that. I thought I had appendicitis for a while. Well, of course I tried to reach Rogers. I couldn't get to him, Phil. Now, come on, Phil. How do I know the whole world's gonna blow up because I get a bellyache? You heard what? Yeah, I had a drink in the press club bar. I had a couple. Since when did your nose turn blue? Oh. Phil, you're making me tired. I said you're making me tired. Look, I do good work for you. I do it consistently. No, this is not an example of it. This is an exception. Some people might call it an excusable exception. Not you, though, huh? That'd take a little fair-mindedness, wouldn't it? Don't wave my job at me. I just jumped off your payroll 2 minutes ago. Yeah, that's right. Well, looks like I gotta write that novel, huh?
Jerry?
Yeah, you're right there. Hi.
Hi.
Ah, how's everything in the newspaper business?
Oh, it's just fine.
Hey, did you read that column of Rogers this morning?
No, I didn't.
Well, that wasn't bad.
Well, you like that sort of thing. How'd it go with you?
Oh, great. I got almost 9 pages.
Well, that's wonderful.
I'm just gonna fix a little snort. You want me to get you one?
All right.
Hey, what do you say we go out to dinner?
I already bought it.
What do you got?
Round steak.
Oh, we'll put it in the freezer. We'll have it tomorrow.
Well, to tell the truth, we're a little short.
Honey, you just said we're gonna be all right.
Jerry, I'm worried.
Well, we'll go over to Mike's and we'll put it on.
It's not just the money. It's... Do you have any idea how much you've been drinking lately?
Sure, I have a few. I had one before lunch. And
Jerry,
this
when I
afternoon
left this morning, that bottle was almost full and now it's nearly empty, and you're afraid you're going to lose the glow. So it's over to Mike's where the bar doesn't close till 2.
Oh. Lady psychiatrist.
Jerry,
I can tell you knew at your job because your bedside manners stink.
Jerry, let's not argue about this. I want to help you.
What kind of help I can give myself?
Well, all right. Well, maybe if you would just talk it over with me.
All right, then listen, doctor. All of my big problems are right up on the surface. Now, for openers, I'm not used to being the one that stays home and does the dishes. Plus, I am trying to beat my brains out to get a couple of words squeezed out of that lousy machine so maybe some publisher will give me an advance. Now, those are my hang-ups, and I'll deal with them myself. So, meantime, if I feel like getting juiced once in a while, well, that's up to me. Lou.
Well, good morning.
What are you doing here?
Working on my monorail story.
What are you doing here?
I brought you home.
Oh, yeah. Where's Jeannie?
At the paper, she's okay.
Still sore at me?
Well, she'd cooled off by this morning. Late this morning, that is.
What time we get in?
About 3. There's hot coffee on the stove.
Oh, you kidding. Coffee. Hey. You know, I can't remember anything after 11. What do we do? Stay at Mike's?
Yeah, we closed the place.
I make any trouble?
Just about going home. You didn't want to.
Well, that's a new one. I never had that before, not the full blackout. It's supposed to be some kind of signal or something.
So they tell me.
Well, Jerry Comiskey, alcoholic. That's got kind of a nice ominous ring. Oh. Lou, I'm just scared to death of writing that book. I gotta have a drink. I can't even sit down at that machine without some sauce in me.
Why don't you see a doctor?
Head scratcher?
Oh, a GP, or any kind. Maybe he'll give you some pills.
Pills. He'll give me advice. He'll tell me to quit drinking. I can give myself that advice.
It's one thing to give it.
Oh, what's so tricky? I mean, is it a big deal? I started drinking by myself, right? I ought to be able to quit.
Just like that?
Any other way?
No. But why go it alone? Why don't you join AA?
Bunch of ex-drunks sitting around with a coffee and donuts, peanut brittle, pinning sobriety medals on each other.
And you'd get a big argument about that from my sister-in-law.
I don't know her, do I?
Sally, no, I don't think so. She's been AA for 3 years now. Claimed it saved her life.
Well, maybe it did. I just think maybe I can save my own.
Want me to get that?
No. I recognize the ring. Hello? Yeah, honey. Yeah, I'm okay. You want to come home and throw some plates at me or something? Huh? Now, listen. I know you may not believe this, but I'm taking the veil. I had my last swim in a trough. I mean, I'm sober, honey. I'm gonna stay that way.
Lousy lunch?
Not too hungry.
Well, how should we spend it?
Hmm?
My day off. Movie? Ball game?
Oh, anything you want, honey. I just want to wait till the mail comes, okay? Shouldn't be long.
Sure.
You know, it's been 3 weeks. We ought to hear something by now.
Jerry, I'm sure more than one person has to read it.
Yeah, what is a device for slow torture? The publishing house has got it all over the thumbscrew.
More coffee?
Yeah. I have got a deathless observation. When you quit drinking, all you do is quit drinking liquor, and then you double your intake of everything else.
Oral compensation.
Ah, a few words from Mrs. Freud. Neither sleet nor snow.
Walk, do not run.
Probably a gas bill.
Jerry? Jerry. Come on in, Lou.
How is he?
He's coming around. I got some coffee into him.
Jeannie, this is Sally Carson.
Hello, Jean. Thanks for coming. That's all right.
Who brought him home?
The police, he got into a fight.
Any charges?
No, not this time, just a warning. Does he know you asked me to talk to him? Yes, he does, and he doesn't want to see you. Well, then I'm afraid. But I told him that he had to. But if he doesn't... He doesn't, but he is willing to listen. He's right in there.
Think you need any help?
If I do, I'll holler.
Yeah.
Jerry?
Yeah.
I'm Lou's sister-in-law.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's nice to know you.
Can I sit down?
Sure.
I hear you had some bad news today about your book.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do. You know, people climb mountains and build bridges. I get bad news.
Then between times feel sorry for yourself.
You gonna be nasty?
A little. I've got it right. I'm an alcoholic, too.
Oh, boy. Okay, Sally, look, I know the whole AA drill. Call me before you take a drink, and I'll talk you out of it. And we'll have the Monday night coffee clutches, and we'll all join hands around a pastry table. Well, I can't go that. It don't do anything for me.
Well, all that part does for anyone is let them know they're not alone.
You're alone after you leave the meeting.
Not unless you want to be. In a way, you probably do. That's part of being an alcoholic.
You just lost me there.
Well, an alcoholic doesn't start with a bottle in his hand. He starts with a problem. He's got to be the greatest. He has to be the best there is. When he isn't, it's somebody else's fault. You know who I was going to be? Eleanor Roosevelt, only better. Well, after all, I was younger, prettier, and smarter, if I was any judge. So how come I wasn't Eleanor Roosevelt? Must have been some kind of a plot. Just the way people are keeping you from being Ernest Hemingway.
No, I don't think that.
Well, you don't think it, but you feel it. Why else dive into a bottle every time it turns out you're not Hemingway?
All right. Now, what's all this about wanting to be alone?
Well, if you're alone, no one can argue with you. A bottle doesn't talk back. Then you can be anyone you want to be. But, of course, it doesn't last. No fantasy ever does.
How do you keep from being alone after the meetings are over?
By recognizing that you're not.
I don't get what you mean.
Well, you tried to stop drinking by yourself, and it didn't work. Yet people have stopped, thousands of them. So apparently there is a way. Now, do you think that you are the strongest force in the world?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Well, tell me one you think is stronger. How about God?
Well, Sally, I don't know much about God.
Well, neither does anyone, but there seems to be an awful lot of faith in him going around. Look, Jerry, your God and my God wouldn't look much like each other if we stood them side by side, but that's our problem. Whatever we call him, he isn't far away. And all he can do is help. Nothing else can. Not the coffee clutches, not the telephone calls you make to one of us. Oh, sure, we'll keep you company, but all we'll remind you of is that somewhere there's a wall you can lean against. Well, most of us spell it G-O-D. If you'd like to talk about it again, Lou has my number.
Nice of her to come over.
I thought so. How about some dinner?
Okay. Hey, you think if I got myself kind of straightened out, the paper'd take me back?
I know they would, Jerry.
Is it all right to smoke while you're praying?
Well, I don't know. But I never heard anyone say you couldn't pray while you're smoking.
Jerry Kaminsky has begun the long road back. He now admits he is an alcoholic. He knows he cannot manage alcohol alone, and so he turns to God for help. Over the years, Alcoholics Anonymous has developed a 12-point program for the containment of alcoholism. 1, admit you are powerless over alcohol. You must be honest with yourself. Realize how sick you are. Admit you cannot cure yourself. 2, come to believe that a power greater than yourself can restore you to sanity. God is all-powerful. He loves you. He will help you do what you cannot do alone. 3, make a decision to turn your will and life over to the care of God. This personal loving surrender is of crucial importance. It enables you to tap the power of God himself. 4, make a searching and fearless moral inventory of yourself. None of us are saints. All of us have failed. We don't like to admit it, but it's a fact and we must face it. 5, admit to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. Confession is good for the soul. It releases our guilt and enables God to destroy it. 6, be entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. It's not always easy to let go, but it's necessary. 7, humbly ask God to remove your shortcomings. 8, make a list of all the persons you have harmed. 9, make direct amends to such people whenever possible. This is the best proof of your sincerity I know of. 10, continue to take personal inventory, and when you are wrong, promptly admit it. 11, seek through prayer and meditation to improve your conscious contact with God, praying only for knowledge of his will. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, try to carry this message to other alcoholics. Sobriety, like all other spiritual goods, is most surely possessed when it is given away. Helping others to stay sober virtually assures your own sobriety. The program of Alcoholics Anonymous is biblically based. It is psychologically sound. It is preeminently practical. 50% of those who use this program become sober at once and stay that way. 25% become sober after some relapses. The remaining 25% show some improvement. All you need to use this program is the honest desire to control your drinking. You can regain your dignity and self-respect, but only by relying on God. What you cannot do alone, you can do with his help. No matter how unmanageable your life has become, no matter how low you seem to have sunk, you are not beyond redemption.
Insight is a production of the Paulist Fathers, a group of Catholic priests who serve their God by serving those outside their church.